Generation gap. A generation gap occurs when older and younger people don't understand each other because of the difference in opinion, experience, and nature. This difference definitely existed in our society yesterday. I know it. It exists today. I and my sons can vouch for it and will always exist in future. Harshil and Yashraj. This creation is a tribute to the generation gap that binds us more than it alienates. Bete Harshil, it's been 18 long years. You are a major now. At least that is what the law of our land says. Once 18, you can now drive with a valid license. You can have an independent passport. You can file independent income tax returns and exercise adult franchise, thus deciding the future of our nation. All said, you will now be responsible for all that you do. I feel relieved. Seems like yesterday that you were born, and both I and your mom were skeptical in holding you. Padi gayo to, you were too small for our comfort. You were too small for our comfort. I still remember your dada, my late father, was so overcome with emotions that when I reached home from the hospital after you were born, he kept his head on my shoulder and I could feel the gentle watery heat of his sentiments right there. He could never believe that because of his indifferent health, he could see the rise of a new Ponda generation. You gave him that unsought of joy. See, right from the beginning you were made to bring joy in the lives of people around you. You were born as a grown-up man. They say genes skip generations. Maybe that's why grandparents find their grandchildren so likable. I saw you as a grown-up man again when you could afford a support to your dadi when she looked for one, as she was about to trip up. And you weren't 18 then. I could see the emotion of gratitude in her gesture. And when you chose that birthday card for your mom and ordered her favorite flavor for a cake, you had grown up, much before you were 18. I could see a sensitive young man in the making. Yashraj के जन्म के साथ तो तुम वाकई में बड़े हो गए थे. When he was suffering from fever due to a shot of vaccination, and the way you put that moist cloth dipped in Oricolin on his forehead in the middle of the night, I could see a responsible, caring elder brother. Owing up to a mistake needs a lot of courage. No child's play. I have seen you admit mistakes gracefully and haven't seen you repeat them. That is the sign of a man who has grown up. Growing up has a hazard. It desensitizes you. Growing up hasn't desensitized you. It should never. रिश्तों में जिंदगी बसती है. अपने पराये ना होने पाए और परायों को अपना कर लेने में ही तुम्हारी सबसे बड़ी जीत होगी. Owing to what this beautiful life has taught me, wanted to share a few teeny-weeny things with you. That which seems the height of absurdity in one generation often becomes the height of wisdom in another. Some men so dislike the dust kicked up by the generation they belong to that being unable to pass, they lag behind. तुम पूछोगे कि आज इतने सारे लोगों के बीच ये बात? अरे भाई, अगर सही बात सही वक्त और सही मौके पे की जाए तो उसका मजा ही कुछ और होता है. वो कहते हैं ना कि रस्म दुनिया और दस्तूर भले ही ना हो, मौका तो है. Children have never been very good at listening to their elders, but they have never failed to imitate them either. A lot will be expected from you now. This ruthless world will want to get the better of you. I know you will not succumb, for you have your values in the right place. Life is all about decision making, and it comes in handy if there are no contradictions in your value system. I know you have none. Remember, Harshal, that decision making is a choice between what your head says and where your heart takes you. Listen to none. When you are faced with choices, your first, instant and impromptu reaction will be the voice of your conscience. It is a mishmash of the reasoning offered by your head, the whims of your heart, your life experiences, and the value system imbibed in you. Your conscience never lies because it is not biased. Listen to it. Listen to it always, for today's decisions are tomorrow's realities. Bete, you will always need friends. But you know what? Friends are like melons. Shall I tell you why? To find one good, you must try 100. Not too many of them, but yes, a select few will do. Good friends. Time is a great filter. It will reduce the number as you advance in life. You will need your friends. You will need them to share your troubles and joys. But don't make it a habit to take them as a fallback option. And on the flip side, don't become one. You may have or give heartbreaks. Overlook flaws in your friends, for you too will have a few. One who looks for a friend without faults will have none. And finally, when you have shared enough secrets with your friend, never make an enemy out of him. We'll now talk about the magic word, love. Love makes life live. Love is life. Love is this and love is that. In some time, or already, you'll be listening to such mushy stuff. Don't get carried away. Don't get carried away. On the day of the marriage, love flies out of the window. Or else, love marriages across the universe may never have failed. The only thing that keeps a marriage going is the wavelength that you share with your mate, and the respect you command, and the trust you are able to garner. Ironing out differences is not a compromise. Marriage is not a compromise. It is a sacred institution and a lifelong bonding. The going may get tough at times, but never ever think of running away. Marriage is all about falling in love with the same person all over again. Always treat women with great respect. They are the most resilient living beings on this planet. They endure the biggest pain while giving birth to a whole new generation. They are not weak. They aren't a commodity either. Life is like a game of volleyball. What you dish out comes back with more severity. The more love and respect you give, more of it will come back to you. Always, you will be flocked with unforeseen circumstances. This is the beauty of life. Remember, life always waits for some crisis to occur before revealing itself at its most brilliant. No crisis is complete without a built-in way out. If it has none, it is not a crisis. Simple. Remember, have you ever seen a lock without a key? It may come as a package, or you may have to look for it. Look for it always. Never let a problem become an excuse. Never let a problem become an excuse. Always look for the positive side in a situation and a person. Criticism is possible to an extent, but when you start enjoying criticizing people, stop it instantaneously. It will corrode your personality. Abandon people who talk ill of people. There will be times when the circumstances will depress and dismay you, put you to distress. Never let your faith shake. Your faith in the Almighty and your faith in your capabilities. Speak aloud. With the help of the Almighty, I can move mountains, and mountains will move. I can bear a testimony to that, my son. Bear in mind that your faith will see you through even the most turbulent times. Never try and live in a cocoon, which I call the comfort zone of an ordinary human being. If you want to rise above mediocrity and become special, an extraordinary somebody from an ordinary nobody, just take the path less treaded. Because the rule is simple and says that if you want to achieve something which you have never got, do something which you have never done. Don't worry. Failures will happen. मन का हो तो अच्छा, ना हो तो और भी अच्छा. Keep in mind that you have to convert your failures into stepping stones for success. Failure is the opportunity to begin again more intelligently. Lest you forget, God's delays are not His denials. Don't abstain from making mistakes. It is impossible to fail totally if you dare to try. Don't abstain from making mistakes. अशल पता है गलतियां जो हैं वो हम सबसे होती हैं. सिर्फ वही लोग गलतियां नहीं करते जो कोई काम नहीं करते. गलतियों के बारे में सबसे बड़ा गोल्डन रूल यही है कि जितनी बार भी करो नई गलतियां करो, पुरानी को रिपीट मत करो. क्या फायदा अगर हमने अपनी गलतियों से सबक नहीं लिया. और एक दूसरा गोल्डन रूल गलतियों के बारे में यह है कि अपनी गलती हमेशा जल्दी से मान लो, उसको छुपाने की कोशिश मत करना. The one battle most people lose is the battle over the fear of failure. Try, start, begin, and you'll be assured that you have won the first round. Stay away from people who ask you to take care and play safe. People who take care never go anywhere. Take a chance, take charge, and take control. दुनिया में तुम्हें बहुत सारे लोग मिलेंगे जो तुमसे ये कहेंगे कि जितनी चादर है उतने ही पांव पसारना. सच है, लेकिन आधा. और अर्ध सत्य जो होता है वो झूठ से भी ज्यादा खतरनाक होता है. तुम अपने पांव को पसारने से नहीं रोक सकते. तुम्हें अपनी चादर बड़ी करनी होगी. इतनी बड़ी करनी होगी कि न सिर्फ तुम्हारे पांव इसमें पसर जाएं, बल्कि वो सारे लोग जो तुमसे जुड़े हैं वो भी सुख की जिंदगी जी सकें. दुनिया के कहने की परवाह मत करना. अगर तुमने गलती नहीं की है तो दुनिया चाहे तुमसे कुछ भी कहे, बिल्कुल डरना मत. Remember that publicity of any kind, whether good or bad, is always good. बेटा, जिंदगी में हारना किसी को पसंद नहीं होता. मैंने इतनी सारी बातें तुमसे आज इसलिए शेयर करी हैं कि मैं चाहता हूं कि मैं तुमसे हारूं. मैं चाहता हूं कि तुम मेरे एक्सपीरियंसेस का फायदा उठाओ. किसी पिता के लिए इससे बड़ी खुशी की बात नहीं हो सकती कि वो अपने बेटे से हार जाए. मुझसे बहुत बहुत आगे बढ़ना. विश यू अ वेरी हैप्पी बर्थडे.